True connections are built on understanding and shared experiences. That's why we're beyond excited to launch our series of intimate interviews with community members like you. We're here to root for you, cheer you on, and celebrate your unique story. Whether you're a longtime community member, a business owner, an artist, or just someone with an interesting perspective, we want to hear from you and share your incredible journey. Our interviews are all about showcasing the vibrant tapestry of our community and highlighting the amazing individuals who call Copper John's home. By sharing your stories, we believe we can inspire and connect with each other on a deeper level. So, if you're interested in being interviewed or know someone who would be a perfect fit, give us a shout at info@copperjohnsbeard.com. We can't wait to hear from you and share your story with the world. Join us at Copper Lodge, where community shines brighter together.
Well, that was a little intense.
Yeah.
The music at the very end. I'm like, whoa.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I got to simmer that down. Wait,
What's up?
how you doing, Miles?
I'm well, Tyson. How are you doing? Yeah.
Good. I'm sorry. Like I said in the green room, I'm sorry that I took away some of your Alabama game night.
Hey,
Oh, but
man,
yeah, you'll miss the third quarter. That's about it.
Look, the third quarter, it's fine. And like I was saying, I was telling the other night from during yesterday when you were on, I typed it right at the very end. You're like, if they're frozen, like, and you got to read it. I was going off. You're the only person I do this for, Tyson. So you should feel very special that I'll if football in the South, it's like religion. It's like, there's like three people. I mean, it's like you're like God, the mayor, and then in church, and then Alabama football, and then not necessarily in that order. So, the order can flip flop. So yeah, it's no big deal. There's going to be plenty more games, but you only get one. Well, maybe I'll get another shot, but only one shot when the big man asks you to come on the Copper Lodge.
Oh, I don't know about the big guy, but either way, I appreciate. Well, physically, yes.
No. Physically, physically, the man of much power. You're the big man in many ways with podcasts, barbershop, all kinds of stuff going on.
I appreciate it. So, tell everyone a little bit about who you are. Tell everyone a little where you're from.
Okay. Yeah. Well, a little bit about me. Golly, I'm a 47-year-old, Miles. That's fine. 47 years old. I'm married happily to the love of my life, Brandy, my best friend, my rock.
She helps you cheat during game night.
Exactly. That's what I said. My everything. She is my best friend. She's my number one. I've got to mention her first, and then I've got four kids, and and then I'm live here in central Alabama, right here near between Montgomery and Auburn. Just an old Southern boy. If you can't tell from that draw and that Southern talk, I mean, that guy talks funny. You can laugh. I want everybody to laugh about that and all, but yeah. And I live here in central Alabama. I'm worked in when I first got out of school, worked in public accounting for a CPA firm for 16 years.
Oh, dang.
And gosh, man, my wife Brandy and I, the 14. Was it seriously? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, June 4th. I'll never forget. It was May of 2014. And I hear you talk about this and like losing a job and things. My wife and I, we worked at the same CPA firm, and we'd recently got bought out by another firm. And, things were going good. I was even a little scared. Anytime a company gets bought out, you're like, oh, goodness, what's going on?
Facts.
And to the point of like, I went and interviewed for another job. I said, Randy, maybe you can stay here and I'll go. And I was ready to take another job. And I told the new owners, I said, hey, I was just very full disclosure. I said, I've got a new job. I think I'm going to move. No, you're going to be fine. We want you. 2 months later, Brandy and I we get called into the conference room. We're fired same day. Lose our job same day. So my run in public accounting came to an abrupt end. Sometimes things happen for a blessing, Tyson. Sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? It's the end of the world. Where do I go from here? And you're like, gosh, and the next thing you know, my wife, and I always say this, my best friend, you'll hear me talk about her a lot, you know, and Brandy, and she says, okay, we're going to get this going. We're going to make things happen. We're going to dust off your resume. Because, you know, I've been in the same place for 16 years. The resume get a little dusty. You know, I didn't move, just sort of sitting. And maybe that was the way somebody said, hey, you got to move. It's time to move. And both of us just happened to move. I didn't want to do that. 3 kids, a 6-month-old little girl, 3 boys older than her, mouths to feed. You know, that's a pretty tough backpack to carry. That's that's a pretty tough carry. And my wife said, we're going to dust off your resume first. And, you know, there was a funny thing about it. You know, there's a landfill here and not far. And I'm still living in Tallahassee, Alabama, about 15 miles away. And my wife said, look, Advanced Disposal, it was a waste industry time. They're looking for a staff accountant. And I'm like, at this time, I'm thinking to myself, I was like, the waste industry, I ain't working away. And then I had to wait for a minute. I said, wait a minute, time out. Here you are, Miles. You just lost your job. Both of you just lost your job. You ain't too good for nothing. Now, you are not too good to feed your family. And, you know, so I say, you know what? Brandy's like, we're going to get this resume. I say that again. We're the old be in front of people, be present. You know, it was on monster.com. A lot of things are done, even tonight. But I like to talk to people face to face. I'm that sort of old school, and be present. And my wife said, Dave Ramsey style. You know, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dave Ramsey, the financial.
Oh, of course, everyone has.
So everyone has like him, love him. He's got some good things, some bad things, and you know, and you find it and you use it. And he says, you know, go there and take your resume. And so we drove over to the landfill. My wife and I, we hopped in that little 2003 Honda Accord, and she drove me over there. And I was just going to hand my resume in that day, and to whoever was there. And we drove up, and first time I'd ever been to that landfill. It's sort of landfills are tucked away. I mean, just sort of out of the middle of nowhere, desolate, the refuse, nobody, you know, where everything just goes away. I don't think that's everybody's like a stopping point where they want to go, like a must-see place. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I go there. Young lady behind the desk there, Tanya at the time. Tanya, I bet Tanya's still at that company. You know, I've left that one and gone to a couple of different companies since then. She comes up to the desk and says, hey, who are you? I said, here, I've got my resume. I saw this job. Sort of felt like that little service merchandise kid years ago. Yesterday I saw this, and here it is behind this counter or whatever. But anyway, I said, here's my resume. You know, I want this to whoever this needs to go to. I did the one on monster.com, but I want to be here and turn it in. And she says, wait just a minute. And I said, okay. Sean Rice, the controller at the time, he works for a big waste company now, and he's still in the industry. He just so happened to be there that day, Tyson. He's usually, and when come to find out, he's there once a quarter. And of that quarter, he was there that day. And he was in the back conference room. And she said, I tell you what, just wait a minute. I'll go give this to Sean and see what he says. She says, come on back. Sean wants to talk with you. And that was the beginning of an interview where I sat down and talked to Sean. He said, you're probably a little overqualified for what you want right now. And then I had to rethink of what I said. Sort of like you when you talk about Blockbuster and something, when you worked there and all. And I told Sean.
Can't believe you remember that. That's cool. You have a good memory.
I listened to you guys, and I love you guys, and listen to that stuff and all. And I told Sean that day. He said, you might be a little too qualified. I said, I'm not too qualified to feed my family, Sean. I got to feed. He said, look, I understand. He said, matter of fact, Chris Alverson, our district controller, will be in tomorrow in town as well. He said, you live here, come back tomorrow and interview with Chris. And Chris came in the next day, and we interviewed. And he says, hey, I'd love to have you. And I'm just going to tell you something, Miles. He said, the garbage people and the waste people, he said, when you get in here, you know, he said, we have a big family of people here. And I didn't know what it was like. I didn't know what to expect. And he said, when people get in the waste industry, they come in and they stay, and it becomes home to them. And that was in June of 2014. And, you know, the other day I took another job.
Yes, you did.
I'm an area controller over Alabama and Mississippi for a company that would just bought a bunch of big contracts here in Alabama, Mississippi. And the way, you know, like Sammy, so I like to say this, Sammy Sosa's, like he always said, baseball's been very, very good to me.
Uh-huh.
trash has been very, very good to this old boy. Well, the waste industry has been very, very good on this boy. So when people ask what I do, I said, I tell people I work for the mob and I'm a trash man. So when I tell them, I say I'm a trash man. I make sure the trash, where it goes and the numbers and everything. And my old saying is, I'm that guy in the back office about, I'm not the guy that says, don't tell me about the labor pains, just show me the baby. That's what I did. I'm about to give me the numbers and let's get it done. And we, just took that new job, and it's we were talking about it. We talked a little bit back behind the scenes. You alluded to this other day, how deep you get and all different things. This is going to lead up to something I'm going to ask you later on, just
okay,
a little bit. So about and those new things, even at 47 years old, we still have those. Like, oh, am I good enough? Am I going to do well? And you can do it, but I mean, you still have little anxieties and self-doubt and stuff. It creeps in, but some of that stuff is healthy sometimes, I think. It can help you and it can drive you, and then you jump over it, those little hurdles, and you get a little better. See, I did that. Little small wins each time and little steps and how you build yourself and all. And that's a little bit about me. I know that was a big, long-winded answer, but that's a little bit of me. And I still have a lot of those. I don't know if you sort of see it behind me here. My wife's desk back here too.
Yeah.
We back. But my wife, she's gone on to work with the state of Alabama, and she works for the medical. She's the CFO for the medical cannabis up and coming, the medical cannabis board of the state of Alabama. And which are still in litigation now, and a lot of states have that now, and that makes for great pillow talk. And we're just laying there some nights, and sometimes you just lay there and you're looking, and my favorite thing is to say, "Hey, Brandy," and one time said, "After your years in public accounting, who would have ever thought that you'd be in pot and I'd be in trash?" I mean, who would have ever thought, that you'd be in pot and I would be in trash? But accounting, it's been very, very, it's been good to me too. And it's a very broad. You can do so much with accounting, and that's what I stress to people and my boys and my little girl. Find something that you love, but find something that will be there and you can use always, and develop your skill set that you can use. Find something that you like and that can be useful and that the world needs, and things that you do. And that to say that some of those clients from that tax firm, and it wasn't just tax. I did audits. I did taxes. I've done utility board audits. I've done a lot. I've done risk audits. I've been exposed to a lot in accounting, and I've loved it. And all the better for it. Some of those people back at that accounting firm, to this day, and Corey,
yeah.
he talks about having multiple revenue streams. Some of those guys to this day, her little desk is back here, and my desk too. I've still got several tax clients to this day that said, "Hey, I heard you were leaving," and I didn't. And there's a little bit of a professionalism when you leave a firm. You don't reach out to clients and do anything. You just sort of go away. It's sort of a professional thing. And say, I'm you don't go away, man. And that's what you do in the industry. You go away. But if they come to you afterwards and they say, "Hey, I'd like to use you. Well, can you still do this?" And that was another thing. My wife said, we're going to get us a write-up system. We're going to get our tax program going. And we're still doing that to this day on the weekends. And, and making an extra revenue stream for all these kids that I've got, the 4 kids and stuff. And it's been fruitful for us. I mean, it hasn't, you always just see, and I'll say this too, I'll preface this too, with social media and different things. You see people's highlight reels. You hear that a lot.
Uh-huh.
It hasn't always been easy. It's been some tough days, man. And you know that. I mean, you business. People see your highlight reels. They see, oh man, Copper Johns is doing this. The barbershop sounds like it's doing that. A lot of different things. All they see is their highlight reels. They don't see those times when you were struggling and like, man, how am I going to pay this bill? What's going to happen now? What am I going to do today? And things like that. So I feel like I've got it together, but I don't always have it together. It's like y'all talk about on dad bods and beards. I'm a 47-year-old parent. I'm still trying to figure it out today. I'm 47. And things like that. So I love listening to you guys and different things like that. And it's just been fun for me, man. But accounting has been good to me in a lot of ways, and I've loved it, and gotten into this beard world too with so many people and met some awesome people where, you know, you clicked on that first button and the next thing you know, it just opens up a whole new world of just people like you and Dan and Ken and just all the awesome people that enter into your life just through a stream or here and there, but you feel like you know them and you become a family of people.
Oh, absolutely.
You can talk to them and reach out to them at any time and, you know, just feel like.
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, this is so much fun. I haven't asked the question yet.
I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
This is so. I keep talking about it. This is cool. This is going to be like.
But therein lies the next conundrum. My wife says, you're the extroverted accountant. You're not the she's the stereo.
No, there is some weird accountants, but you're definitely not one of them.
I know that. My wife says, she says I'm the introverted person. I'm the one in the back. You know, just bring me the work. I do it. You talk to everybody. She always told me, she says, Miles, she said, you should have been a lobbyist. You should have been a politician, or you should have been a lawyer. You should have been in sales. I said, why do you say the lawyer? She says, because every time we get in an argument, you win. She says, every freaking time, no matter what, when I'm supposed to win, if I've got 90% of the facts in my corner, you find a way to win. I said, no, I do not. She said, see, you're winning. You're arguing and winning now about not winning. You know, I mean, but that's so funny. You know, I'm an extroverted accountant, and I like to talk to people, and I like to get out there, and I like to get out there and put myself in front of people and just be part of it, you know.
Everyone just loves you. He's like, this is great, and it really is. That's why he's like, I just said, hey, just tell everyone about you. And 20 minutes later, and I'm like, I haven't asked a question yet. This is so funny. I like to talk and I like to communicate to different people. Nothing is wrong with that. This is cool. Yeah. I love it. We're all get to know you a little bit better, so it's fun.
So there, that's a little bit about me. So I've got a lot more, but I know you've only got a little bit of time, and you've got some questions that you'd love to ask, like to get to, and maybe the audience as well. I know I haven't had a chance to say hey to everybody. I know everyone's out there, and they want to say hey maybe and different things. I'm glad everybody's here tonight on a Saturday night and jumping in.
Yeah, no. So I will ask some questions. So if you guys have questions in the chat, just put a Q there so I don't miss it. I necessarily won't ask it right then and there, but I definitely will highlight it and go back to it, or I'll start. So I don't know if I want to ask all these questions because you're just full of plethora of information. Best and worst movie of 2024. I am a movie guy, and so I'm kind of curious because I just saw Beetlejuice last night with Candace, and I actually really enjoyed it.
I've gone to see one movie. What was the one that with the y'all talked about it, and I feel so bad, but I don't know. It's the Disney movie with all the personalities.
Inside Out.
Yes, that has been. I really enjoyed that movie. My little girl, Hollis, the baby of the family, the boss of the family, and my wife's my wife 2.0, and she comes in and she's like, "Hey, Dad, let's go to this movie," and you'd love it. It's like there's a little town up the road. I say a little town, Alexander City, and it's got this throwback theater. And it's like you step back into 1985.
Those are fun.
And it's like you go in there, and it's got the same person that's giving out the tickets. They're giving out the popcorn and the drinks and everything. They've got the old arcade in there, and they've got the old wood panel walls in the lobby and different thing, and the old bathroom. And you get in there, and so we go to that movie, and I really loved that movie and all the different personalities and things going into it. So I really haven't been able to see a lot of movies, but there's one that I'm looking forward to, and there's a specific reason. It's the Gladiator movie.
Oh, dude, that looks really good.
I want to see that one because
Denzel's in it, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's going to be good. Like, it doesn't fit for me. But he's really good, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That was the Gladiator. I forget what year it was, and I forget when that was the last movie that my dad and and my brother, that we were all together and saw together in the movie. So it sort of like brings back. I want to see how this comes together. I'm looking forward to that movie because I really loved it, and it sort of got sentimental meaning to me in those ways as well. So I'm excited about that one. So worst movie I haven't seen. I don't know what's been the worst movie for you so far. What do you?
Rebel Moon.
Which
on
one?
Netflix. It's the one that was supposed to be like Star Wars on steroids, and it was just the worst movie ever.
Oh,
but Dune 2 is by far my favorite so far. If you haven't seen any of the new Dune movies, you got to go see it.
I would say I do want to see the Beetlejuice movie. I do want to see that.
If you've seen the first one, the second one's cute. Like it's good.
Okay.
It's very nostalgic.
That's what I want. I do want to go see that one, and it'd be a throwback to me in a way. I'd like to see that one. So yeah, but I do Netflix, and I watch it, some shows on there when I can, and make time for that. It's like there was the ER series. I forget what it is. It's not ER, but I can't remember what it is.
911.
That may be it, and
that's what Candace and I will watch together. That's one of them.
Yep, I like that one, and some different shows on there. I got to get back into it. I just haven't made much time with it recently because of the new job and stuff. And I went to Charlotte last week, which was really nice, by the way. Have you been? It's very bougie in Charlotte.
Charlotte, I've only been there once.
Charlotte, the South.
Wait, is Charlotte where University of North Carolina is?
That's is that no, I think is that Chapel Hill. Is that Durham? I think that may be there.
I think it's Charlotte, isn't it? Anyway.
I think UNC Charlotte's in Charlotte. UNC Charlotte. There, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. You got good.
Oh, Chapel Hill. So I was in Chapel Hill. I wasn't in Charlotte.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. But it's a very bougie town, and there's so much, and I come from a very small town. I mean, you people can look it up. It's Tallahassee, Alabama.
Okay, how many people? Because I bet I have you beat what I grew up in.
Oh, I'm sure you do. We've got 2,300.
Wait, we're about the same because I grew up in a little town called Shelley in Idaho.
Yeah,
and it's like minuscule.
It's a very small town, and the funny story about that when I say Charlotte's bougie versus Tallahassee, if you go to Charlotte in corporate America and some of the office there, you think of Charlotte. I hadn't been there in years, but bankers, investors, and all. There's a lot of money in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's in the mall. Malls aren't very. Storefronts aren't as. I don't think maybe they are, but not as popular as they used to be. Do you get that same feel like shopping malls with all the online stuff? I guess.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. The most bougie place I've really been to is when I went to go watch Texas play BYU, and I didn't realize Austin was so like upscale.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, Santa Tom wants to know if you, since Bama lost to Texas, says here, can you give it a hook 'em?
Tom. Okay. We're 1-1. We did win the title game against Texas. Just in 2000, I did go to that game now, out in Pasadena in 2010. It was the first. Saban's just recently retired. I did go. That was one of my fun trips. We flew into Vegas and then drove over to Pasadena over the pass and all.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Beautiful drive, and we went to we love the Hoover Dam. We spent a little time there in Vegas. We did the Hoover Dam and went to the northern realm of the Grand Canyon there with the skywalk. Have you ever seen that skywalk, the glass skywalk with the Wallapai tribe there and on the northern rim of the Grand Canyon they built?
I've never been to the Grand Canyon. That's one thing. I live so close to it. I've never been.
To Google that, the skywalk on the Grand Canyon. You go out and you walk, and it's a glass skywalk. It walks. It's like I'd say maybe 100 foot, maybe I don't know the exact dimensions.
That's the one that the Native Americans built, right?
That's exactly right. The Wallapai tribe. That's exactly right. Yeah, and you
now I know what you're talking about.
And you walk and you look down and it's down below you, and you see it like, gosh, you're looking through there and below. Now look, the craziest thing about the Grand Canyon, you talk about this country boy from Alabama going out there. and looking down, and you're just squinting and looking down in the canyon, and like you see something down there. It looks like a fly flying around in the bottom of the canyon. And I said, "What is that?" So like, well, one of the caretakers there, they said, "Oh, that's a helicopter giving a tour in the bottom of the canyon." I said, "Now I know why Goofy, when he falls on the cartoons, it looks so far." You know, now I know. I get why Goofy does that when he falls. Why he makes that wild sound, because it's a long way down in that canyon. If you fell, boy, you'd have time to think about it and sew a sweater too. You know, I don't know.
Are you ready to get serious?
I'm ready.
I got some serious questions for you.
I'm ready. Let's get serious, and I can go from one emotion to the other too. Yeah, let's go.
And Logan gets bugged because I don't cry. I don't know why. I just don't. So if you cry, it's totally okay. But it's not because I don't want to. I just don't know how. What? This is the question. What's a moment in your life that changed the way you see the world? Is that when you lost your job, or is there a different way?
Ooh,
have a child? Like, what was it that changed?
Man, I don't know if there's just one thing. Maybe there's just.
Oh, I would say there's multiple things.
Yeah,
like
but
getting married, having a child, all that kind of stuff.
Get a ranking system, because there's a lot of different, dashes in between and different things that happened, that can happen to people and change them. I will say one of the most memorable things was in April of 14th, 2010.
Oh, wow, you have that specific.
Yeah, when I got a knock on the door, and it was a police officer, and I was like, it was early in the morning, and I said, "What's wrong? What is it?" And he said, "Hey, there's been been something happen, and we want you to know that your father and your stepmother were in a house fire." And that's why I tied it back to that movie when I said that a moment ago, the last time that my brother and I would seen that movie together, and you talked about the Gladiator. Well, this a little bit meant to me. I lost my father in 2010 in the house fire, and my stepmother, and I looked at the world a little different as far as, not taking things for granted and day to day, and something's always going to be there, And I look back, and sometimes it happens now. I don't know if any of you parents have ever, if you have kids, any of you ever experienced this. Have you ever had to dial a kid and they won't pick up?
Yeah,
they're busy. And you look back, and and like that. Sometimes they'll text, they're ready, and when they get back, I can remember that too from that experience. And I was like, my dad had called, and I'd not been able to pick up. I was, that, and I wasn't, I forget how old I was. I was married at the time. I was older, and the boys were there. So it was in 2010. So obviously they were there, but they something had happened. I'd not picked up or whatever. So when somebody calls now in my family, I make it a point to pick up the phone or always text them back. Always.
I love that.
Text them back. And my kids don't see it, and they never will. Like I said, today I see myself now, and I see myself in them today in a lot of ways, because they're young. I mean, they don't think like 47-year-old me, and when I used to think in the different things in life, and that you've got kids. I mean, you've got 6, and they're at different stages.
Candace just is at the doctor's right now with my oldest. His elbow just exploded, like literally, like just exploded. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Wow. That's all.
It's
Wow.
infected. We just don't know to what extent and what caused it. So.
So what are they going to give him? Are they giving him some antibiotics? Or
they're going to have to give him antibiotics, but I don't know. It's really bad.
Yikes.
But sorry, I didn't mean to take away from what you were saying. It's just kids are just like.
I understand. I understand when your kids are, and that's when your kids are hurt, and you want to take that, you don't like that. I remember when your daughter, when she was it going to Minnesota and got hurt there,
Yeah.
and
Land on her head.
Yep. And different things, those things are scary for you as a parent. Those aren't fun. Those aren't fun moments, but at all, and I've had a few of those at different times when my son hurting his knee and wrestling and ruining his year and different things and different injuries and stuff. But that you take things into perspective when something like that in your life changes. So I always try to be present and that was another thing going to work with this company, and I always full disclosure, and I tell my company I said my son plays baseball. I can't make every game, I understand, but there's going to be times I want to be able to work and be able to be there and be present for him, and it's not always just them being able to see. And I've sent texts, and you may have seen them now, like, "Hey, Dad, I appreciate you being there. I'm glad you were just there in the stands." And not every parent has that luxury. My dad, he could never come to my football games. He never made a single one of my, but he was working. I think he made one. I think he made homecoming. I remember him standing there in his suit at the end of the and waving at me. I remember that. He didn't make many of my games, but I've tried to make that a point to where try to be present for my children and things that they're doing, and be there. So when I didn't tell them like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the game. I'm not going to do my work." I said, I want y'all to be flexible. And they said, the guy I went to work with, Ryan Perry, he says, "My kids play soccer. I go to all the games." He said, "That's what we said." He said, "We work hard and we play hard, and we take care of our family and we do things like that." He said, "I understand." And I told him the same type of story. He said, "My dad, he worked swing shift and he wasn't there at all my games." He said, "I've got the same sentiment about things in life as you do, about being present for your children." And my son, my boys, they always say, "I'm glad you were there." And my daughter too. They're all different. All your kids, they have different things that they like to do and all. She's the bougie one in the family. Gosh, when she went to Charlotte, I didn't think I was going to get her to come home and leave her from the mall. Gosh, it scared me, that or my wallet. But anyway, they're all different, but they
sure
be there and present for your kids and different things and the things that you do. But I think that's the life-changing moment for me, as far as one thing that gives me a different outlook on life and being there, in several ways.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And I think that this is kind of like how it is. There's some dads that work their butts off, kind of like what Josh is, and kind of like this, which makes it allow either their wives to be homemakers and be with their children, or at least be able to make it to the practices, to the game. So for those who are busting their butts and doing the best they can, good for you guys.
That's right. I mean, and doing that. I mean, some people can't. I'm fortunate to be able to do that, and I'm very fortunate.
No, you're very blessed. Like, you're a really good dad. It sounds like.
Yeah, I try to be there and.
But you are an Alabama fan, so
Yeah, I know. We're winners. We're winners. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. We win.
Dude, I'll tell you what though, Nick Saban.
Yep.
Nick Saban is on a rampage. He's talking crap about everyone.
He is. I mean, you talk about getting his get backs now to everybody.
Seriously, it's kind of fun to see.
He's got a mic now, and he's dangerous. He's getting all his get backs to everybody. I like that, and all the commercials he's making. He's making money on top of money. This guy's just like everywhere. The Verbo commercial and all kinds of commercials he's making now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know if you've ever dealt with this, but for me, I occasionally have a lot of this, and it's self-doubt. Like I was talking to between me and you, like, I don't want what we talked about before to come out.
Oh, did I lose you?
I muted it on accident. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I hear you. I can hear you now.
No, it's just like I was talking to Candace, and I'm like, how did we get here? How come people believe in Copper Johns and me? And it wasn't like a self-doubt. It was more of just like I'm so grateful and I'm honored, and I just love it, and like I love you guys, and I just am just in awe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but at the same time, it's just like, why, and all that kind of stuff. And so, how do you deal with the self doubt when it does come in?
Well, it's funny you say that. We were talking about that, and self doubt and fears and different anxieties, because, in my job and different things in life, in my position where I'm at, I'm only as good as the people on the front line. My people that are out there in the field day to day. And I tell them that the people, when I go to a shop or somewhere or something, say, "Oh, well, like here's one of the guys, one of the big man, and don't get like he's here, or something, y'all and talking, and I'll say, well, hey, what's your name? And what do you do?" He said, well, one guy, I remember, he said, I'm just the janitor. And I said, no, man. I said, you're not just anything. I said, tell me what you do and what time you get here and what happens. I said, you're not just anything. I said, you are a very important part of our company and what we do and everything. From, it may seem small to you or what you say. Don't ever put yourself down in any way and try to minimize what you do, your efforts. I stress that to all my people. And so my thing is, as far as taking care of those people, because the people like that and people on the front line and stuff, they depend on us when it comes to payroll and different things and stuff, and all the different things that we do and the duties that we have to take care of them, because they got families like I have.
Yeah.
So I think now going to the new job, getting back to your question of the self-doubt, taking a new job like recently, I'm like, gosh, well, what if I get in here and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, what do they do a little different or whatever, and and like I said, I'll go back to my wife. I talked to Brandy and she says, you got this. You got this. You know what you're doing, because I'll bounce things off of her. We got to have a sounding board. You got to have a teammate and things.
True.
She says, you've got this. You're going to be able to do this. You're great and all. And and I know, and I'm not just saying that, I know I can do the work, but I mean, there's still like self doubt and fear and all when you're doing things, and you get there and you're like, well, what if I don't know their ways on some of this? I mess up on this forecast or this budgeting or things like that. So what I do with self doubt, I get in there and I put my best foot forward, and I when I say I'll take the task at hand and I'll work at it, and I'll do it. Like I say, like if I'm working through a forecast or something, and I said, see, and get it done. And I'll talk with Carl. He's the CFO. He's the corporate controller, not CFO, the corporate controller there now. And he's like, hey, that's really good. He said,
I'm still here.
Yeah, I hear. He says that's good. He said, wow. He said, you do have a lot of experience and stuff. And I said, we're not going to have to train you a whole lot. He said, that's so refreshing. So I'm like, man, I had this self-doubt. I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't doing the right thing. And he's like, man, you taught me some stuff, and that's just it. When you're working with people and stuff, and you're worried about what they're going to think about you and what they're going to do, if you collaborate and work with people as a team, and we all have strengths and weaknesses in what we do. If you work and collaborate as a team, and the self-doubt will go away in a lot of ways if you're just honest with people,
mm-hmm.
and forthcoming with stuff on everything, and just lay it all out there and say, hey, I really didn't understand this or whatever. Even at 47 years old, I don't know everything. I'm still learning. No. I'm still learning different things to this day about the waste industry and stuff, and the way people do things, so it's always. But my biggest thing in that area is like I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like I should know it all, and I make myself feel like, hey, if I don't know it all, like, hey man, you're sometimes it does creep in. Like, you should know this. They're all like Happy Gilmore. They're all gonna laugh at you. Not Happy Gilmore, but they're all gonna laugh at you.
Waterboy.
Yeah, that's it. they're all gonna laugh at you. And it's not like that at all. So, but I do have those pressures and those different fears like that. And I think everybody does. And like I was talking to you before the show in the green room, I think some of that stuff is healthy in a way when you have self-doubt, and I say healthy in this way, like natural, like to have that. I think it's natural to have that, but once you overcome it and you bounce and you get past it, it's like, hey, there's another chip, there's another mark, there's another benchmark of what I've done, and you build upon it, and it builds you for the next time you get ready for something. Each time you work through something, you have a different experience, and you work through the next thing of self-doubt. You know how to work through it in your problem solving and things like that. I think that's the main thing that I do is, is through problem solving. It's just, I build on it each time inside myself and the things that I do, and working with my teammates and talking with my wife, and just, I think that's the main thing, is being open with everybody. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I not only think being open, but every time you accomplish something,
you
get more confidence for the next time, and every time, and it builds upon itself, and it builds and builds, and so you get that. And so just like I use this with Candace, or actually Logan. So I was at the gym and filmed, and I filmed in different locations, and I sang a lip sync of Pink Pony Boy or whatever the crap it's called, and and Logan's like, dude, last year ago you would never have dared do that. I'm like, yeah, but now I do, because I really don't care.
That's right, but they're so funny, and it's just, and that's what it is. When you asked earlier about why me, why you, because you're you, and you're real. That's why people love Copper Johns, and they love you, because you're a real person like the rest of us that just happens to have great beard products and a barbershop. That's what it is. I mean, you're a real person with real problems like the rest of us, and you're just a real person. And I'll go back to one thing that a person told me about, talking about self-doubt and different things. Sometimes to grow, and people hear this, to grow, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've heard people say that, and get uncomfortable. And,
sheesh, that was 4 sneezes I muted.
but to grow, you've got to get uncomfortable, and taking this new job. It's a little uncomfortable, but I'm growing. I'm growing as a person. I'm growing as being able to take care of my family a little better, and doing things. I just think, I think part of it all works together as far as self-doubt and being uncomfortable and working through it each step of the way, and just growing, just embracing the challenge, taking it on, and just and going with it, and collaborating with the people there at a good company, and sharing with them and working with them, because they'll help you. I found that out. If you've got a good team, they will. That's the key, though. You got to have a good team and good people around.
Absolutely.
You got to surround yourself with good people.
So what's one piece of advice you'd give your younger self? If you could talk to yourself when you were like, 18, graduating high school.
Well, gosh, I've talked about this before, and I've shared pictures, and I've talked about this with other people. If 18-year-old, I've struggled, Tyson, with my weight, my whole life. At my lowest point, lowest point, was probably 15 years ago. I would have been 32. That's probably right. 31, 32. I weighed 377 pounds. I would
have guessed, man.
I weigh now 195 pounds.
Wow.
So if I would say one thing to people and myself then, was take care of yourself, take care of your, and people think about different things. And I've heard you talk about the other day being low T and on one of the podcasts, and how this is so way it's supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel good. This normal. I'm almost stressed about not being stressed. I heard that on the podcast the other day. Your physical health ties back to your mental health for me, and I found that out to be true, because I suffered with anxieties, depressions, and I worried about the big 3 with high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. The big 3 that everybody talks about for men and all that. And I was going down that path, and I was scared. I was scared of where I was going, and people thinking. I mean, I don't. I'm like you now. I don't care what people think of me, but people saying, "Hey, that guy. I don't know if he'll be here for his kids." I mean, this just be truth in a few years or whenever. So I'd like to go back and tell that guy, I wish you would have gotten better shape at a younger age. I wish you would have got, and it's not easy to do. It's not easy. If it was easy, we would all snap our fingers and just do it. And I wanted to show you another thing. I showed you in my office too. I've got over here behind me. Do you see that? Right there, the elliptical and
the treadmill.
Yeah, right there. Every morning, Tyson. Every morning.
That's cool.
Every morning before everybody gets up in my house. At 5 o'clock, I'll come in here and I'll hit that, either the elliptical or the treadmill, and I'll get on it for 45 to 60 minutes every morning to start my day. Every morning, that has become my routine for me. So people say, "Well, how'd you do it? What'd you do? Well, I mean, what's the secret sauce?" And a lot of people, hadn't seen me in a long time. Hey, when'd you have gastric bypass? I mean, that's a normal question, right?
It is. I mean, now with Ozempic.
Yeah, that's what people want to say. What did you do? When? And there's nothing. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but people think that because that's what we are as a society. Because sometimes that's what what people will go to. So I changed my diet. And I said I didn't cut out all food groups, which I used to do. And I struggled in the beginning.
That's what causes binging and all that kind of stuff.
I said I got to do Atkins. I got to do this. I got to do low carb. I got to do the South Beach. All those different ones.
Mediterranean.
Yeah, we could go on all the different ones. The paleo. We could name them forever. And then I just came to a point and said, I can't live like that on some of those, and just because I would lose a little weight and I'd be back up again, lose a little weight, and it's like a yo-yo. And people say that's worse for you than
it is.
Big weight, the yo-yoing back and forth, like doctors. You hear that the yo-yoing of weight is worse than anything on your health. So what I did, I started just cutting my portions back, and I started moving more. I started out moving my portions. And I saw this thing, I always say this thing, like it was on social media. Social media can be good, it can be bad. And something you got to take the good and take the bad. Now you have the facts of life. Anyway, it was a bad joke. But anyway, anyway, it can be good. And I saw this, it was a meme or a reel on Instagram one time, and it was talking about, it's frustrating, man. My knees hurt. I was 377 pounds fat. I was pouting. I was crying. I was feeling sorry for myself. My back hurts. My knees hurt. Let me go get this Twinkie. It feels better. That's my comfort zone. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go do that. I wanted to go eat that. And just because that was my comfort, that was my escape. Some people, I can understand it. Like some people, Tyson, they'll do drugs. They'll have alcohol. They'll do different things. Food was my drug. That was my drug, and I died of self in a lot of ways with food.
So let me tell you a little bit about I'm going to be a little vulnerable here.
Yeah.
This is the biggest I've ever been.
Yeah.
So I got my master's. So I weighed 240 when Candace and I got married. My 240 is skinny. It's mostly like I look like you. Like I was very, very thin at 240. Right. I gained 60 pounds. When I got my master's, because you had to sit every day at a computer. Literally, you work and you come home, you do that. After I got my master's, I lost a little bit, and then I started Copper Johns, and that's when my daughters happened and everything, and I gained another 60 pounds. And this is the biggest I've ever been in my life, and I'm scared. I told Candace, like, I'm not going to be around. And I feel my anxiety. I feel that kind of stuff. And so within the past month, I've been going back to the gym. Like I do on the Tyson.allred YouTube. You see me just sweating every time because I listen to podcasts. And I've lost, 28 pounds in 3 weeks now. Yep. And I still have 100 to go. But it's just like what you just said really inspires me. And I hope it inspires other people, because that's why I do the Foundation of Power on the bottom, is because seriously, you hit the nail on the head where it's like your weight. If you're betting yourself on your weight, it helps your depression, it helps your anxiety, it helps everything about it. And so I love what you just said, and I got chills, man. Like it's really, really good.
I
So
had
thank
panic.
you.
I'm here, Tyson. I had panic attacks. I had everything. I had the anxiety. I was scared. Sweats, different things. It was real. I mean, it was bad. It was wearing on me. And I like to go to the gym here to see other people, get around other people, and then
You? No.
yeah, dude, I love it. I love to tell people my story and to
You'd
share.
be a fun person to work out with.
Yeah, I love to share my story and to tell them, not to brag,
That's
but
cool
to
to
tell
know.
them I've been there. I've done that, and to let them know that you can do it too. And when I go back to what I want to get back to, where I saw this thing. It was a video that said, "Keep going," and I hit play, and it said, "Keep going. You may not see results today. You may not see results tomorrow. You may not see results 2 months, 6 months, or a year from now, whatever. Don't concentrate on the results. You are the result in process, the journey. Keep moving every day." And that's what I've done. I've put that in my mind and I've built that in me, that it's become part of me. Like I'm sitting at this accountant too, like you were talking about being a man and working and being at your desk. Accountants, it's a very sedentary lifestyle.
Oh,
You
100%.
you can sit there all day, you can get stuck. So in the middle of the day, if something's on my mind, I'll get over there and I'll pop it out on that elliptical, and I'll run back over. I can do it now. It helps me. It's little things like that to be able to do. But don't stop, Tyson. Keep going. Keep moving. No matter what they say, no matter what your mind tells you, no matter what tries to beat you up, keep moving. Keep going. Keep going every day. Don't stop. Do
You're
not
a stud,
stop.
man.
Don't stop. Don't.
No, I'm dead serious. Like, I wasn't joking when I said you just inspired me. You like
Don't stop.
that's why I love this stuff. It's just like getting to know you guys and getting
Yep.
to know all this. This is going to be very powerful to someone, and it was very powerful to me. So
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome, and I've enjoyed it. And I know I'm long-winded. I'm sorry.
Are you joking? Don't be sorry. This is you. This is who we came to see. Is you, the
Yeah.
raw Miles. I love this.
Yep, and that's me. And I see the people, and I see them struggling. And look, to this day, I'm not saying I've got it figured out, because I'm not there. I die to self. Like I said, I die to myself every day in a lot of ways, as far as being a better person than I was the day before, and being better each day. Do I win every day? No, I don't win every day. I don't. But I mean, I try to in some ways, and I keep going, because the next day is another day, and I'm gonna be a little bit better that day. And if I fail, I'm gonna keep going. Tomorrow's another chance, and I'm going to try to keep being another person the next day, and just keep being a better version each day. And it's
So I've decided you need to start doing motivational Instagram stuff. You need to be Robert Michaelis Part 2.
I can do it.
You just have to yell "Let's go" at the very end of everything that you do, and you're good.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep moving. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, you're a stud.
I love
I have so many questions for you. We're running close on time, so let me just see which one I want to ask. What's the legacy you want to leave behind to your kids, to your family, to all that? Because that, to me, it seems like it's very conscious on your mind. Like you're a very present person.
I want my like I said, my best friend. I tell my kids, and my wife, and my wife is my best friend, Tyson. I tell my kids this. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I love my kids. I do, and everybody should love their kids. But
Absolutely.
But when me and Brandy got married, we became two became one. She's my best friend. She always will be. And I said, you kids, y'all gonna grow up. And y'all gonna leave here one day. Y'all gonna leave, but you know who's gonna still be here? My wife, Brandy's gonna be here. She's my best friend. I want my kids and my family to be able to see that, hey, he was a good dad, and he worked hard, and he tried hard, but he played hard with his kids, and he took care of them, and he was there, and he was just a good person. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't flashy or anything. He was just a good person. And I want, and I heard this a long time ago. And it was the ethics class I took in junior college. It was an ethics teacher, very weird guy. The ethics teachers they're weird people, but anyway.
You know who else are weird people? Accountants.
Yes, we're weird. I'm weird. They are weird. They are weird. But he had something great to say. He said, when someone dies in your life, he says, I want you to take time to grieve. He said, take time to grieve. We all should grieve. And different when you lose someone that you love, grieve. It's going to hurt. It's natural to hurt. He said, but after that time of grieving, he said, jot down a few things, 1, 2, 3 things of the good things that they did in life, and live them. Put them in your heart and live them every day. So I want my kids to be able to jot down a few things of what he did and how he, became a better version of himself every day. I'm not the perfect dad at all. If I failed, gosh, if I'd done things wrong, absolutely. If I'd done stuff where I said, man, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have talked to him that way. I shouldn't have said that. Doggone it. I wish I could take it back. But I want them to know that I grew with them, and we all went through this together, if you will, and became better people and a better family. I want them to think that my dad, he really loved me, and he cared about us, and he wanted the best for me. He didn't give me everything because he wanted me to earn some things,
Mm-hmm.
I could give them more, but I want them to earn things and to work for themselves. And that's more fruitful than anything, because me being an accountant and an assistant area controller over Alabama, if people knew my background, I came from nothing, man. The roaches were on welfare at my house when I was a kid, man. We were poor. I wouldn't, and I didn't know I was poor until I got to school and somebody told me. But anyway, that's all I knew. I mean, but anyway, I want them to know I want Brandy to know that if whichever one of us outlives the other, and he loved me, and he took care of us, and he took care of the family, and he provided the best that he could at all the time for us. And that's what I want more than anything, because my family, they mean so much to me, and everything, because I didn't get to say bye to my dad, and I want them to know that I love them and that I'm there for them, and that he was good. That's not necessarily legacy. There's nothing legacy wise other than he was good and he loved us and he tried to be there the best that he could the whole time, and he was there. And I want them to live like that, to be a better. I always tell them, I said, I want you to be a better man than I was. Be better. The next generation be better. You be better than me. You want your kids to be better than you. That should be your goal.
100%.
You always, not that I'm bad or a villain or anything, and not always nothing bad, but I want them to be better than I was in many ways. I want them to I don't want them to go through the struggles and some of the things that I went through and stuff. And I tell my kids that, and not in a mean way. I say, boy, and people always say this jokingly, and I'll say it too. You don't, if you'd have been there in the things that we went through when I was growing up, because my grandmother raised me, my mom, I've told people this story too. My mom left us when I was in 5th grade, and I never saw her again. My dad, my brother, and just the three of us. Three of us lived together from 5th grade on. Then my father got married when I was a junior in high school to my stepmom, and it was just us for the longest, just us 3 guys. And I don't want them. Not that I want them to have. I want them to have hard hurdles. And I don't want it to be soft for them, but I don't want them to have the hard hurdles that I had. If that makes sense.
100% it does.
I want them. Because if you always rescue your kids, they'll never grow in different things. I'm not saying don't to not help your kids. Don't get me wrong, but they've got to learn too to overcome things themselves too, like you did, and to be better and to learn. That's the way I look at it. I want them to say, my dad taught me some tough lessons. He didn't always give me everything, and I'm all the better for it. I learned how to take care of myself and how to win and be a better person in life. That's what I want to leave as a legacy. I don't know. I danced, or maybe I danced around. Maybe I answered. Hopefully.
No.
Yeah. So
I'm really grateful that you were on here today.
I love.
I have a newfound, like, I respect you already, but I have a newfound respect for you. Like, I feel closer to you. I'm grateful for you, and I appreciate you. So thank you so much for sharing. Hopefully your family gets to see this,
Oh,
and they get to hear your words, because that came from the heart and that meant a lot. I don't want you to ask me questions now because that was just perfect.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it. Dang it.
Okay. Well,
No, but we'll do it because I said so.
Okay.
But just so everyone understands, so what we're going to do for now, moving forward, is, I thought it would be fun for everyone, or for whoever comes on the Copper Lodge from now on, just ask me a couple of questions if they want to. And so I'm giving you the opportunity to ask me a few questions before we take off.
Yep. Well, since we're running on time, and I ran everybody over, and I'm the talking accountant. He's the over talking accountant.
No, please don't ever. No, you are amazing, man.
That's what what do you want to be remembered about? The talking accountant. Not anyway. No, I'll ask one. I'll cut it to one question, and I always know you don't like to be lauded. You always don't like to talk about yourself and things like. I've heard you talk about. Oh, I don't like hearing being celebrated or anything, and you're always the one asking the questions and building other people up. You don't like to hear it, but I wanted to ask you: what is Tyson? We've had several moments in life and different things. What are you the most proud of yourself, of Tyson already? What are you the most proud of about yourself?
Two things.
Yep.
And they both involve children. I am grateful that now this is going to be a little religious, and for those who, I don't mean to trigger anyone if it is, but I tried really hard to live the gospel and live the values that I have through the Bible, and to live Christ-like, and have my children understand my beliefs, and that even though we make mistakes, we can always repent, and that we can always become better, and that we can do all that. And seeing my children pray, seeing my children go through things, whether it be self-inflicted or not, seeing them conquer them, and knowing that I help them feel valued and feel loved, and that God loves them. I love seeing that. Right. I love seeing my son Isaac come and talk to me about Jesus. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And I've never said that in public before. And then the second thing is I'm grateful that I'm humble enough to listen to my children and know that I needed help 3 years ago, and that I needed to take care of my mental health so that I could be a better father and husband. And because it wasn't easy to hear, but I'm grateful for that, because I am a different person, because I'm more patient and loving because of that. Not that I was a bad father, but that I'm better now. I'm a better father and I'm a better husband because of saying, hey, I can better myself. I'm not perfect. And I work on that every day. So, yeah, good question. I hope that answered.
It did. And you're exactly right. It's our job as the man of the house, if you will, to make sure that in the gospel and we all want to be together again, right? It's
true. Like, it would be hell if I wasn't with my family after. You know what I mean? It would be my personal hell. And I feel like that. Yeah. So it's my responsibility to teach them.
You're right. It's your job. Yeah, it is. Yep.
So. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well, Dynamite. Everyone is just absolutely loving you. You're just a good person, and full of respect for you, man. And hopefully Alabama's doing good.
I don't know. I bet the games are irrelevant. They'll play again next week. I don't care. They're fine. They'll win, lose, or draw without me. I've come to realize that. It used to be a different time when I was a young guy. I couldn't miss a game, but that's a different. I've grown more now that it's okay. They're going to play with or without me.
Unless you're Notre Dame and you lose to Southern Illinois.
Yes.
Or is it Northern Illinois? Who did they
But
lose?
But I was happy that Auburn lost to Cal today.
They did?
Yes.
Wow. Well, any last words before we take off?
I just wanted to tell you thank you, Tyson. I want to tell the people that came in and sat through this that I appreciate you. And I appreciate this community, and I appreciate all the people that are here. There's a lot of great people here, and I look forward to seeing many more of these and encourage anybody to take a chance to get on here and talk with you and just it's a great community, just a great group of people that I like to call family and friends. You know, and the game nights and the different things that we do, it means so much to me. You don't realize. I say that I type it sometimes, but I want to tell you what you do in these moments like this. It may not seem big, it may seem minuscule, but it means a lot to the community and to me and to everybody. You know, those I see the beard product behind you there. Those are irrelevant. Those things will go away one day. Those things won't be here one day. They won't. They won't.
No.
They won't matter. The relationships that we had, the relationships that we built, and the time that we had here, you know, will always matter. And I appreciate you for being you. And I want to tell you that
thank you.
What you do and giving us this platform to be ourselves and to be friends and to just talk and just be real. And to open up, I appreciate that. That's what I wanted to tell you, and I want to tell all the community that too. That thank you for being here and being a part of this community.
Well, I appreciate you. I really do, Miles, and likewise. This has been an honor. I wasn't expecting tonight. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's so much to Miles that I absolutely love. We will have to do a part 2.
Yeah, we can do a part 2. I mean,
because like I said, I only got to ask. Like, I still have like 6 or 7 questions that I didn't get to ask. So
we'll do it. I loved it, and I'm glad everybody hung around.
But everyone, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful night.
Thank you.